the popular musician Bob Marley, in the 70s, there was an assassination attempt on his life in Jamaica. And they shot him with his arm and his chest. His wife and his personal assistant were also attacked. And he survived it. After his survival, he went to the US and to London. And there, he composed a song titled Exodus. What captivated me in this song, Exodus, was a line that as a kid, I always heard a particular drum man using. And it is a line that says, "Are you satisfied with the life you are living? Are you satisfied with the life that you are living?" He said, "Open your eyes and look within. Are you satisfied with the life you are living?" And this is a question that I think we can reflect on as we reflect on the readings of today. If you look within yourself, it's not, are you satisfied with what is happening around you? It's, are you satisfied with the way you are living your life, with the life that you are living? And if we can be honest to ourselves, we might find that in one way or another, we are not satisfied. Then the question is, what do we need to be satisfied? Reflecting on the first reading of today, which is part of what they call the Deuteronomy, Isaiah, the second book of Isaiah. It is written towards the end of the Babylonian exile. And at this time, the people were in captivity. But God is also giving them hope of the end to their suffering. One of the things that they have suffered, like we are suffering in Nigeria now, is hunger and poverty. And the Lord says to them through the prophet Isaiah, "Everyone who thirsts, come to the water and drink. Even if you have no money, come, buy and eat. Have wine and have milk without money." Isn't that nice? That the Lord invites us to say, even if you have no money, I have something that can satisfy you. You can be satisfied without money. Unlike what many people think, that for you to enjoy this life, you need to have a lot of money. Isn't it? Don't you think so? Don't you think that if I have a little more money, I will be satisfied? But the Lord is saying to you that even without money, I can still satisfy you. He said, "Delight yourself in the rich food that I will give you." What is that rich food? He said, "I will make with you an everlasting covenant. My merciful love to David." God is making a covenant of love with you and with you. And it is this covenant of love that is going to bring us satisfaction. And that is why we say in the psalm, "You open your hand, Lord, and you satisfy me." You open your hand, Lord, and you satisfy me. A heavy drinker was diagnosed by the doctor with a very terrible sickness. And the doctor made him to understand that this sickness is as a result of heavy drinking. So the only thing that I recommend for you is for you to stop drinking alcohol and drink more of milk. So, when the sickness got serious, the doctor discharged him for him to go home and die. At the point at home, he was not eating, he was not drinking anything, and his family was worried that even if he doesn't die of the sickness, he can die of starvation. So they tried to make him eat or drink anything, and he would not. So eventually, they went and bought a cow so that they can milk the cow and give him the milk from the cow to drink. So they milked the cow and brought a cup of milk for him to drink. He tried to drink it, but no way, he rejected the milk. So eventually the family said, we have to find a way somehow. So they decided that they poured a little bit of whiskey inside the milk to see if he would be able to take it. When they poured a quarter glass of milk, they put whiskey to complete it. And the moment they brought it to him, he finished it. And they said, at least, even though they say he should not take alcohol, at least he's taking this one. So after some days of trial, they will bring that to him again, and he will finish it. Eventually, that became the only thing that he was drinking. On his deathbed, he told his family that he died. And they asked him, do you have any message that you want to leave behind for your children? A word of wisdom. And he said, it's just one thing. You see that cow that you bought, please make sure you don't sell it. Because he thought that what he was drinking was from the cow. Yes, it was from the cow, but there's a little bit of whiskey in it. So he said, don't sell that cow, because the cow is really very well. Now, many of the things that we pursue in the name of making us happy, like people who drink, for example, I can tell you for sure that there are people who go to the bar and they drink, and after a couple of drinks, they start crying. And you don't know what is making them to cry. Only God knows. And you ask yourself, is this enjoyment? There are many things we pay for that we don't need to pay for. Some years ago, my anniversary was coming up, and I told the brothers in the community, including one of our brothers that just died. I told them, see, this is my anniversary. I'm going to spoil myself. I'm going to take myself out and spend a lot of money. I didn't mean it, but I was just bragging. So that morning, I went to Mass. I enjoyed the Mass. And after the Mass, I came for breakfast around 7. And they said, are you still taking yourself out to spend a lot of money and spoil yourself? I said, of course, I will. But I didn't mean it, I was joking. So after the breakfast, we sat down, they were just talking, and we were laughing, and making fun of each other, and teasing each other, and we talked and laughed from 7:30 to 9 a.m. And at 9 a.m., one of us, I think is the one who is in the mortuary right now, he said, you know what? Look at us. We have been laughing since 7:30 till now. For free. This is the amount of laugh that some people spend money to go for night of 1,000 laugh. To pay and sit there and watch and die and basketball. We have even gotten more laughter than them and more joy from our loved ones. But this is what people go to pay a stranger a lot of money to give to them. What is happening here? We are getting it for free. Some people spend money to build jacuzzi and swimming pool to give their children what their parents never gave to them. And one day the children will fall on that thing and break their head. But you have those poor children They go to the edge of the house where it is falling there and they put their head here. And the rain will fall heavily on them and they will enjoy it terribly. And sometimes they get more enjoyment than those ones who have jacuzzi in their home. Why? What creates this enjoyment is love. Is that it is done with the people that we love. Many people spend a lot of money going to watch movies. One day after observing my brothers here, I said I don't need to watch movies anymore. Because I watch movies every day. In this house, if you live in this house, you don't need to pay money to go and watch movies. Because there are movies every day. Every day. And you see, you go to the street. People pay money to go to the zoo and watch animals. If you go to Noah's and you stand at the filling station there and look around, you will see a lot of animals. Why do you need to go to zoo to see a monkey when there are many monkeys around Noah's there? Even at this our another level here, there are so many animals passing there. If you think it's a lie, tomorrow morning, by 7, go and stand there, you will see. What God is saying to us is that the life I have prepared for you, you think that to enjoy a good time with your family, you need to go and buy this, and buy this, and buy that. No! Just for free. You tell your wife, you know you are beautiful. How much did you pay for that? And your wife say, hey, stop it, Joe. And you kiss each other, and you laugh, and even the children laugh at you. How much do you pay for that? Nothing. It is when we are deprived of true, genuine love that we begin to look for things that will stress ourselves and pay money in order to have a good time in this world. But God does not want you to stress too much to have a good time. All He wants is for you to love. And there are two important laws. The first is to love God. St. Paul in the second reading was telling us that he is in love with God. He is writing to a group, the Romans, who were persecuted at that time by the Emperor Nero. And they were suffering. And in the midst of their suffering, they realized that it is the love of Jesus that is making them to suffer. But when you suffer for love, it is a sweet suffering. When you suffer for your stupidity, that is the suffering that is real suffering. If you are doing things for your family, for your community, for your country, and it is causing you stress, if you do it with true love in your heart, you will be happy doing it. If you are working for the Lord and doing something to support the church, and you do it with all joy and happiness, and to serve the poor in the society, even if it causes you stress, it is a stress that you actually enjoy. That is why St. Paul says that nothing can separate us from the love of God. Even Emperor Nero and his persecution cannot separate us from the love of God. Even Enugu and the lack of management will not separate us from the love of God, isn't it? Then he lists a couple of things: tribulation, distress, persecution, famine, nakedness, peril, the sword. All of this, they cannot stop us from loving God. Nothing can stop us from loving God. When you realize how sweet it is to love God and to sacrifice yourself for love of God, nothing can stop you from doing it. The other day I was preaching somewhere and one woman started to me. I tell her, say, you cannot stop me from what I do. Continue your work. Make I continue my work. I mean, nothing can separate us from the Lord of God. He says, not even death Not even death. Death, for many people, that is the worst thing that can happen. When somebody dies, they say it's over. It can't be worse than this. And St. Paul is saying that not even death can separate us from the love of God. You ask yourself, the moment you are separated from the love of God, you shouldn't be wondering why you are not satisfied. You look within yourself and ask yourself, are you satisfied with the life that you are living away from the love of God? And you still wonder, how is it that I have spent all this money and I am still not satisfied? Jesus said it is only in loving me deeply that you will be satisfied. Those Christians who were persecuted in the Roman Empire, they were very happy. Many of them even looked forward to be martyred because they felt that the love of God was the only thing worth dying for. And because it is something worth dying for, it is therefore something worth living for. The things that you are living your life around, ask yourself if you can die for them. When it says that we are more than conquerors, the Greek word that was used for conqueror is Nike. And it is through this word that we have the word Nike. You know, like the one you wear for shoes and shirt. It comes from this word, victory, that we are more than conquerors. And many people think that by using brand names like Nike, Adidas, Puma, Balenciaga, they will become satisfied. And women, if it is something that is the latest fashion, they'll rush it. And when I have this latest fashion, I will be satisfied. When you get that latest fashion, after 6 months, guess what? It is no longer the latest fashion. There is another fashion again. So you realize that after this one, you need the next one. You buy the car of 2026. 2026 will finish. Another one will come out of 2027. You will tire. By then, you are going to 2026, you see somebody with 2027, your heart will be broken. You build a house in your village, thinking this is the best house in the village. You travel to Lagos, you come back the next day for Christmas, you see 5 other houses that are better than your own. Go and break it and build another one. Because at the end of the day, if we are not pursuing the love of God, we are pursuing the wind. It's like trying to catch smoke, you will never catch it. Think of Jesus in the gospel. You know who John the Baptist is? John the Baptist was the one that heralded the coming of Jesus. Apart from the fact that John the Baptist is the one that heralded the coming of Jesus, John the Baptist is a cousin to Jesus. So they are related. They are like brothers. And John the Baptist died. When Jesus heard that John the Baptist died, Jesus was heartbroken. And Jesus went to a lonely place where he can be by himself, so that he can mourn his brother and his friend. And while Jesus was going to that lonely place, many people followed him. Normally, many of us will say, don't you know that I just lost my brother? Why are you disturbing me? I beg, don't disturb me. But what did Jesus do? They said that Jesus saw this crowd and he had compassion for them and he started to minister to them. Remember what St. Paul said? That not even death can stop me from the love of God. Why is Jesus doing that? It's not because that he is not aware that his cousin has died. But the love in his heart is too much to be kept quiet. And so even death cannot stop him from showing love. Even persecution cannot stop him from showing love. Disaster cannot stop him from showing love. Many people have reasons why they cannot show love. And one of the important reasons is, I don't have poverty. You ask me, I don't have. That is the problem of the disciples. After the crowd has been given the word of God, the disciples say, okay, Jesus, let us ask these people to go to town so that they can buy food, because we don't even have money to feed ourselves. How are we going to feed all these people? Don't you think so sometimes? Sometimes I'm going on the street, one person begged me, I give. I move again, the other one come beg me. Then 5 others saw that you gave to this food, they come. And I said, I don't get it again. I start thinking of how to escape from that place. So I'm also like the disciples. I don't have. So when I'm giving to this one, I make sure no other one see me, because if they see me, by the time they come, there will be 15 of them, and you don't know where to start. So I tell them why I should share out all of you. So the disciples said, we don't even have enough for ourselves. How are we going to feed all these people? Jesus said, what do you have? What do you have? They said, no, only 5 loaves and 2 fish. Jesus said what? Bring it to me. Bring it to me. That little that you have, if you share it in love, you will never lack satisfaction. You see, where many poor people live together, you will see that the little thing they have, they share with everybody. And when they share it with laughter and joy, the love with which they share it will give them satisfaction. So it's not about having something in your pocket, but it's about having love in your heart. So many times when we say, I don't have, it doesn't mean I don't have in my pocket. It means I don't have in my heart. The love is little in my heart. So even if I have plenty in my pocket, I say I don't have. But if the love in my heart is great, even when what is in my pocket is little, I will always say, I have something. And Jesus made them realize that that thing which you call nothing is something if it is shared in love. Bring it to me. And they brought it. Jesus blessed it and multiplied it. And it was given to this crowd. The 5 loaves, some scholars have said, represent the 5 books of Moses, which is the law. And the law is split into 2. You know, the tablet that God gave to Moses was 2 stone tablets. One for the 3 commandments that speak of the law of God, and the second one for the other commandments that speaks of the law of neighbor. And that it is in these 2 laws that we find satisfaction. Both in loving God and loving our neighbor. And also in keeping the commandment of God. On that rests our true satisfaction. And Jesus blessed it and said, give it to them yourself. And this is a symbol of the Eucharist. During the Mass, we have the offering procession, where we bring the little that we have, the bread and wine. And the priest, on behalf of Jesus, receives it, blesses it, breaks it, and gives it back to us. And the priest is the disciple that Jesus said to give it to them yourself. So Jesus does not only multiply physical food for us, he gives us his body and his blood. And it is in eating his body and drinking his blood that we find true satisfaction. So it's important to ask ourselves, are you satisfied with the life that you are living? And if you are not, what is missing? Maybe a little bit more love for God, and that you do those things out of love for God. Maybe a little bit love for your neighbor, and you do it out of love. Maybe you might find the satisfaction that you don't need to pay for. Maybe you will realize that to have a good time in this world, you don't need to spend a lot of money. And that is the invitation that God is giving to us. To say, I will satisfy you for free.